Hello, guys. I know you guys have been expecting podcast. Let's talk about it. Well, it is actually happening now. I have wonderful and amazing people with me right here. Together, we'll be talking about topical issues, trending issues that are worthy to be discussed, issues that we're going to discuss to enlighten people about what's happening in the world. And you know, a lot of things are happening in the world these days, starting from issue of coronavirus outbreak, starting from to the issue of um, racism, rape, and a lot of things that are actually happening that the media are not giving it much exposure. We just get to see what the media tells us. So yeah, we'll be discussing about it. But before we even start the discussion, so guys, how's the coronavirus break going? How's it been? How do you think? How have you been spending your coronavirus lockdown break?
Well, let me say the experience has been very positive for me.
Positive.
Yeah.
I like the word. So positive in what sense? Like I can see your face is actually glowing. So is it part of the positive?
Yes, and career-wise, that's helped me to develop myself.
Wow, that's good. So NURAH, what about
Let
you?
me borrow a word to like. I would say positive. Positive in the sense that I'm a member. I'm being paid without going to work.
Wow.
And at the same time, I believe it has
Diva,
given
Diva.
my.
I think we
And
need
at the
to.
same time, I believe it has given me the privilege because in my office now we work from home practically since March. So it's a good thing, and I'm getting paid
Wow.
without leaving my
That's what they call getting paid. Right. So his name is actually her name is actually KAREEMAH, but let me say G. What's up?
Well, I've been writing more, and I think that's good for me.
Yeah, we used to see your work up and down. I'm a great fan, by the way. So my G here, DY. I don't know if are you actually in Nigeria or in Wuhan?
I don't know. I guess I'm fully Nigerian
Fully
for the
Nigerian.
sake of
This comes.
not getting attacked by a certain set of people. But then I'm fully Nigerian, and the lockdown break has been, well, wonderful in ways that I didn't expect.
Well, I think everyone has their story that they are going to tell about lockdown when it actually ends. We don't know when this thing is going to end actually. When do you guys think it's going to end?
I don't think it is ending anytime soon. The thing is, just have to learn to live by it.
Sometimes I just feel like I want to see coronavirus in the face and punch the guy.
Bravo.
Or I don't
Bravo.
even know. Well, my own lockdown too, I think actually I came to learn to do something and the lockdown locked me down. So and I took the advantage to do a lot of amazing things. I'm proud to say it. So that's also mine. So well, before we continue, these people are wonderful people. We just send them there. These people are actually celebrity. Like right now, I'm here. I'm like sitting with Drake, sitting with Rihanna, Beyonce, sitting with Ariana Grande or Gan. Well, that's our that. These people are actually doing very fine in their endeavors, in the journey of life. They are young people that when you see them, they are youth that they serve as role model to us. Yeah. Starting from NURAH to KAREEMAH to my Oga here, I used to call her Oga Boss, and my paddy here, these people are doing amazing things. So, well, let's meet the podcasters. So welcome back. I guess you've seen the profiles of these people. They are amazing. AMAZING. Amazing, wonderful people. Now we'll get to the main gist of this podcast today. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it is a podcast roundtable. Actually, this is not roundtable, but it's still roundtable, But let's talk about it. A podcast program that where we discuss a lot of issues that are worthy to be discussed, topical, societal issues, gender talk, sometimes news highlight and news reviews. We discuss this based on our intellectual opinion, and sometimes we we use words to fight in order to get to the truth of the matter. So I guess you guys are going to enjoy it. So today we are going to talk about certain issues. These issues have been going on for a while, from, let me say, international waters to our geographical territory in Nigeria here. So the first issue we'll be talking about is racism. Please, can someone pronounce it for me?
Racism.
Racism. Don't worry, they used to say I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's my brand. So racism. And we'll talk about racism and being black actually. So the issue of racism has been so prevalent. Racism. I can say this thing is as old as history itself. No, we used to read history, watch historical documentary about how our forefathers were taken and how they end up in white man country. And when they gained their freedom, they were lynched, they were discriminated, and but racism is not only peculiar to a group. What do I say? It's not peculiar to a group, it's something that is encompassing all over the world. From there we have tribalism, we have favoritism. So we are going to discuss it. Racist events have been happening all around the world, especially in USA these recent days, say couple of days. And it has not been something joyful at all, because a lot of people, both black and white, have come out, taken to the social media to express their grief, to express, to debunk the racist act. And I can say that it has really been a very, very overwhelmingly sad day for a lot of people. We have not bounced back from the effect of corona virus, and all these things are happening all over the world. So the one I will just mention a few. This thing happens a lot over time, and black people are not giving up. They are protesting. But the one that happened recently, they happened like coherently. It started from one to another and to another. And the first one that happened, one of the this happening is the one of Ahmed Arbery. Ahmed Arbery was a black American, and he was shot by a father and son duo. He was shot by the Michael, and they shot him twice, and he died. So it's a thing that really caused a lot of shock to people. Why would you just see someone who's as human as you, with two hands, two eyes, and has all the things that you have, and you still went on to say because he's not white you have to shoot him? What would you say to that?
Of course, all these you having two eyes, two hands, and the like, you don't say that you're racist. A racist does not care, does not see that, okay, you have two eyes. Personally, I don't see a racist as being human enough. You understand? So when you are being human enough, you have all this humanly stuff running in you. That's when you start saying, oh, this man actually have two eyes, just like I do, then I don't need to harm him. When you're talking about racist, a racist does not care. So far, we are not of the same color, we are not from the same tribe, we are not from the same country. So the racist just believe, I'm superior, I'm better off than you, then you don't deserve to live, or we don't deserve to occupy the same space. So that's what I believe, that is all runs through the mind or through the head of a racist. So I don't think you saying how will you feel, they don't care.
Okay, so Rima, would you say a lot of people, or let me say the people that the perpetrators of racism and tribalism, some of them used to say this thing is inherent, that is a psychological this thing, that it's just like illness that everybody has, that the way we have headache, that they also have it, that they are not meant to be blamed. What do you think about it? What is your perspective about that?
I do not think that racism is inherent. I feel like it's something that is learned over time. When you look at children, you see how they behave amongst themselves. You see that there's love. There's just this common factor that they are human beings, and they don't see the color. I feel like they don't. You can't say they don't see. They see beyond it. They actually do not see it. You just see another human being, someone that you can love, as long as you're not being threatened by them. So racism is learned, and it can be unlearned. So,
what would you say to that?
Yeah, I actually support what she said. Yes, it is something that can be unlearned. Yeah. And I believe that it is like a mindset, like a mentality that they were brought, like when they were giving birth to, they were born into that.
Okay.
So with time, if you're able to fight this issue, with time they were able to unlearn that. But presently, like those people, they cannot relate with the feelings of the people that are subjected to their own hatred. So until they get to that phase where they are able to relate and understand the feelings of the black, being fighting the issue will be very, very difficult.
So, like, with all this thing, do you think racism can actually be resolved? I'm not.
Yes, I.
You won't. I want you to just tell us: can it be resolved? Not even the solution now. Can it be resolved? Yes,
Yes,
or no?
it can.
And if it can be solved, how do you think? Um,
Well, I believe to resolve racism, we have to go back a little bit to the beginning. Like, we need to understand why and how it started. And to understand why and how it started, we have to, like, try to see it from other people's perspective, that is the white perspective. How do they see the black? Now, if they see us as a threat to their existence, how do we present black people as a threat to their existence? Have we threatened them before? And looking at this Cooper guy and Cooper lady issue, he technically threatened her in the video, but well, being the fact that we are black, we have to be a little bit objective and not subjective. So it can be resolved, and we have to take it, let's say, from the beginning to see how it's degenerated to this.
we'll still continue on this issue. Quickly, I will talk about the other happenings that we can see. The issue that my friend here mentioned, the Army Cooper versus Christian Cooper issue. This racist act happened in Central Park, Karen. uh I know in Central Park people are meant to put their dog on leash. So there's this lady, Amy Cooper. Well, she didn't put her dog on leash, and Christian Cooper, who is a black American guy, was telling her that you need to put your dog on leash. But then I think Amy Cooper saw racism as a weapon that he can use. She saw herself as being superior to not that being superior to the fact that she cannot be corrected by just an ordinary black guy. So what she did was she called the police, and she told the police, she reported the black man to the police, that the black man was assaulting her, was a threat to her. You understand? And the implication of this in America is that, and even if it is not up to the threat, that kind of thing, the black man is, I think, 99% likely to be shot because of what he did. So how can a person as human, because someone told you to put the dog on leash, you now call the police, your tone and inflection now change. You're not saying, this black American guy is trying to, something that can cause the death of that person. Why? I want to ask this question: is humanity, I don't know how to put it, but let me say, is humanity, is it fading away, the humanity spirit that we have? Because those two people, they are human. So what would you say?
Of course, the whole thing still boils down to being a racist or racism. Because the fact that, just like you said, maybe she felt, okay, I can't be corrected by a black man. Then, okay, I'm coming. Let me just come into this perspective again. So, though it's more of negating my earlier stand on racism. Of course, I still stand racism should not be allowed whatever in whatever way, sorry. But now, what if peradventure, let's just say, okay, what if everything is no? What if we all are not there, we're not there when it happened? What if probably that woman, the white woman, maybe maybe in the past has actually seen a similar occurrence of which a black man was actually saying, oh, put your dog on leash or something, and maybe the black man was aggressive and actually injured another person. Maybe probably the past, maybe she saw it in the past, sorry, I'm just trying to kind of, we cannot just go one way, you understand? It might, maybe she has seen something of such in the past, so she was just kind of scared, more of a how would I put it, more of a defensive mechanism she actually put in place. Let me call, if adventure you actually go wide, but her the same racism.
Please feel free to oppose if you have.
Of course, racism is bad.
I feel like deep hate stems from racism, or racism itself stems from deep hate. It's intertwined. So when you look at that situation, I'm going to oppose what you said. and that's because even if something had happened before, she could have been maybe a little bit scared. But trying to put someone in harm's way because of something that had not even happened before, it hasn't happened to you and you're lying against. But if that man did not have an evidence that she was lying, everyone would have believed her. Do you understand? Okay. And that's how a lot of people's lives are put at risk. It is wrong. And when you look at the American situation, Black men are at risk at all times. And these people know that. They take advantage of that situation and they put them in the face of danger all the time. So we need to be able to put a balance to these things. It's not because, I don't think it's because she had experienced it before. It's just hate.
So quickly, the third one that happened is about George Floyd, and this has been one of the most let's say most noticeable racist in these recent days, where a guy, George Floyd, was arrested with a case of forgery, and when he was being apprehended, one of the police, Derek Chauvin, knelt on his neck, suffocating him for almost 9 minutes. Why he keep on saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe," a phrase has become an anthem for protesters. And this guy unfortunately died while in that process, and a lot of people were shocked that people are taking racism far. Some people say it's police brutality, some people say it's racism. We are going to discuss that here. And you know, from all these things, we are discussing these things because it has to do with humanity, and we are also Black. We have brothers there, we have sisters there, we have families there. It is important to us, and we'll be connecting this thing to tribalism, favoritism, talking about when you go to Arab countries. Some of the Arab countries, they don't treat Black people on the pedestal. You go to China, they don't treat Black people, and even all colored people too, they experience this kind of thing. So we'll be discussing this thing. So what do you think? Racism, tribalism, humanity, what's happening? What's the connection?
Honestly, you know, you get to a point in life that you just be like, like, are we still living? The thing is, racism, tribalism, nepotism, or whatever, they are all still intertwined and connected. You understand? Now, okay, let's leave all this black and white out of it now. Let's come down to our hometown. This is Nigeria. We all cannot deny the fact that this thing is there. You understand? It has always been there. Even mere admission, okay, for example, in a federal university, when it happens that the VC happens to be probably from a particular region, this is not even something that you pick up. It is a known fact. You understand? It is what everybody sees. You realize that people of that region tend to be offered admission, you understand, more than people of other region or other tribe or whatever. So the racism, tribalism, everything, it is eating, like it is kind of rotating amidst everybody, all human. And the thing is, it is wrong. As I'm talking right now, I can't say authoritatively, you understand, that okay, I'm free of all these acts, because it is when our integrity has to come to, you understand, when you find yourself in that kind of situation that you actually have to, you understand, that is when you really know that, oh, am I truly free from all these things? But the thing is, we all cannot say authoritatively that no, I'm fine. We just have to keep, no matter how little, just try to, like, we should ensure we are in between, in the middle. We should just try. But it is, honestly, it is difficult, but it's actually a bad thing. It is very, very bad, and I believe it is one of the things that is causing more harm than good everywhere. You understand?
Okay, so DY, what's your perspective about all these things? I want to believe you have a different perspective.
I want to lay something on you. Okay. So now you have a position in an organization. You have a brother who is looking for employment, who needs to be employed, and you know that if your brother should get this employment, is going to help at least a part in the family upkeep. Okay. Would you offer it to him or to another person? Now let's forget about the fact that merit or no merit. Now, would you offer it to him or to another person?
Thank you. Merit aside, okay, okay, let's say we are presuming that it's a presumption that both they have the same qualification. Now we are now left with my brother is another person. Honestly, I'm going for my brother. So, you know why?
Okay.
Should I justify it? It's part of being human.
Oh, what if
there's this connection, there's this blood. It's part of being human. Of course.
What if his brother and that person talking about their proficiency? Let's say we are talking about building. You want to build a house project, and you gave your brother, and your brother does not have the proficiency or the skill. And what could be the consequence? And you are going to build a house that is eventually going to kill someone. What can you say about that? Talking about tribal, still on nepotism, tribalism,
I think she should
favoritism.
answer that. You said
Okay.
Okay, you said based on merit. Let's say both of them are qualified for it. You give it to your brother. Okay, so in the case where he's not qualified for it, or he's not, like, the other person is more qualified than
Just
him.
like what you suggested.
Yes, so
honestly, if it happens, if he doesn't have the criteria or the requirement, and the person owns that, I'm going for him. We are advocating against this racism. I'm going for the other person who has with the best grade. I'm going for him. No, you have to take me by my word. You can't see what is going on inside me.
Okay.
No,
wait,
what I'm saying.
Let's say this. I want to ask a very sincere question.
Okay.
Who let's say NURAH has poured her mind. We can say it's being sincere. Now, would you say that in our own sincerity, would you say that she's being sincere, that she's going to offer a family? Or what would you say in connection, talking about sincerity of her expression? Now, a lot of people also do this kind of thing, and a lot of us are susceptible to this kind of thing.
People vying for that position. We have uncles being a senator, and all of them like, uncle now, Habeeb, help me. So we're all guilty.
Well, what I have to say is, it's possible for you to want to choose your family members because they may offset a lot of your own bills, all the things you have to take care of. But your morality, if you say you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you are a traditional worshipper, these things still come into play, because that's when you remember, what does your Lord say? What will the society say? Equity. Thank you. So when two people who have the same qualifications, most likely you would go for your brother. But when the other person has a better qualification and they will do a better job that would help more people in the long run, why don't you go for that person?
Of course, that's
what we are.
Since you're not getting me very.
I guess what we are looking here now is the situation, is the issue of equity in regard to tribalism, racism, and all kind of favoritism. Okay. Now, Rachel, what would you say? Now, let's say racism. We don't have racism in Nigeria, right? Because racism is race, but we have tribalism because Nigeria consists of many tribal: Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Efik, Takpa, and all these people. Now, what are the visible elements of tribalism that you've seen so far in society, and what are the consequences that this thing are trying to bringing up?
Okay, let me talk from the aspect of marriage. Okay, like, it is a vivid example of tribalism. I am a Yoruba. My child was not married from the Igbo tribe. I am this. My child was not married from this. So, like, looking at it, even in the lowest unit in the society, that's the family. There is discrimination. Okay, let me say tribalism, but there is discrimination. And so far I can say tribalism stemmed from discrimination. Yes, so when we are looking at tribalism, the sole cause of it, like the major cause of it, I feel it should be discrimination. We discriminate against each other in the society, even in the family. So basically, we should address that issue first, as the issue of discrimination, and then we'll look at tribalism as a whole. So I feel that is a major cause of tribalism.
Yeah. You know, Arab people, when it comes to marriage, they are very, very, very they used to discriminate. So I think all this thing used to boil down to, it starts from every single one of us. The way we see things and the values that we have been taught, the realities that we have carried on ourselves. Like, for example, still in Yoruba land, a lot of people say, "Hey, Ofefe Igbo." You know, the way they will say it. We'll go for a break.
I am not black. I mean, that's what the world calls me, but it's not me. I didn't come out of my mother's womb saying, "Hey everybody, I'm black." No, I was taught to be black, and you were taught to call me that, along with whatever you call yourself. It's just a label.
So welcome back. This is Let's Talk About It. Now we've talked about issue of racism. Now we'll quickly narrow it down. We'll also narrow it down to Nigerian tribalism. Now we are going to talk about the fact that police brutality still exists. Police brutality is actually part of racism in United States. But now we are talking about police brutality in Nigeria. Just of recent, a young teenage girl was shot dead in Bega by by police officer, and this has sparked a lot of grief from a lot of people, a lot of clamor. You know, a young teenager. I don't know. They don't learn. I don't know how to say it. Don't let me be aggressive. Let me maintain. Okay. So why would a police just pick up his gun? Why is he happy to just pull the trigger?
Accidental discharge, as they used to say.
Yeah.
Whereas that accidental discharge will never work when they actually call them to go out and face a criminal. That one will never happen because you just keep quiet.
So
the thing is, everybody is naturally hungry in Nigeria. You wake up in the morning, you are naturally hungry because looking at the situation of things in Nigeria, looking at what you have to do for the day. Okay. I'm not talking about those that have it easy.
The policeman was actually naturally angry.
Calm down. I'm not talking about those that have it easy. I'm talking about those that have to toil from morning till night.
Everybody toil. Even those that have it easy, they toil.
Yes.
Okay, one of these people up there that they have money that they used to sponsor terrorism. Are they also naturally angry?
Those that sponsor terrorism don't actually know what to invest their money.
So police brutality.
Yeah.
Okay, police brutality in all sense, in all its existence is wrong. Is wrong. We are not allowed to use our position and our advantage on another person.
Okay.
But in situations where we feel threatened, that is, you feel threatened by the other person, you know, like I used to tell my friends, the first type of attack is to defend yourself. Okay. That is how best you can attack. Okay. Now, it could be as a result of defending oneself.
Young man, do you even know? Even self-defense does not exonerate you from punishment.
I understand.
You kill as a result of self-defense, you still go to jail.
I understand those aspects of the law, but you are into law, this thing. So I'm going to talk to you on a flat and a normal surface. What every man says before you dig deeper. Okay. Now, it is not self-defense in the case of Tina. Okay. It is not self-defense in the case of this guy that was shot in Ogun State by SARS. And it is neither
threat from Tina to those.
It is not threat. It's not self-defense. Okay. It is just, now some people, humans generally cannot be predicted. They might just be trigger happy.
Okay. So
his house in the morning, he saw his children, he saw his wife, he wasn't there, I love you, I'm so happy. He never did that.
Really, let us.
He saw his boss at work before he came on the streets. He never shot his boss.
It might be accidental discharge.
That never happened.
Listen,
okay.
It might be accidental discharge.
Okay.
But it's not a justified action.
Can I quickly come in here? You keep saying accidental discharge. Normally when something happened by accident, we say it wasn't intentional, it wasn't planned. But when accidental begins to happen first, second, third, what does that mean? It becomes planned work. It becomes something that you want to do. And this issue of police brutality this has never been the first, second, third. It has been heard for a very long time. So let's remove the accidental.
Police brutality from my own perspective is the cause of the failed system. Okay. Because let's say when this thing happens often and often, it means the system is somewhere faulty. Because when it happened first and the system, or let me say the police people, they took a drastic step. They punished the person and they make it public that what you do is wrong. A lot of other police
deterrence to others.
Exactly.
But that does not automatically means it will stop.
But it's going to reduce it drastically.
Yes, it's going to reduce.
A great justice system is needed.
How many of these things do we record every day?
Do you mean that of
are you saying it's normal for us?
Do you know what? Okay.
I'm not saying
this thing is appearing as if you're all against you. Don't worry, I'm with you.
I'm not saying you're all against me. What I'm trying to say is this, that if we say police brutality is occurring consistently,
Okay.
is it occurring every day?
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
if it is not occurring every day, what are the gaps in between the occurrences? Now,
Okay.
the gaps in between the occurrences does not mean it is intentional.
Okay.
I can't just pick a gun now as a policeman. I can't just pick a gun now and say,
Do you know that
And shoot.
as
No.
human, you judge by actions?
If we keep talking about it, it take time. Now we're going to talk about the solution to police brutality. Solution. So, so what do you think what's your own recommendation to this police brutality issue of the thing?
I feel the government has a lot of things to do, starting with them meting out punishments. Because I believe that if there is a punishment for all these all these events, like all these issues, yeah, it will curb them to a level that even when you want to, like when something is pushing you to do that, the fact that you know that there's a punishment waiting for you, that will stop you. It will, even if you're hungry, like that anger will it will come down immediately.
Okay,
so I feel the government should work on that. There should be a punishment that they will met out for all these people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
Well, aside a good justice system, there's also the fact that people need to be given a reorientation. People in the police department should be told how to react, how to handle situations. It is not everything that you handle with anger. So that's very important. Psychologically, they need to be told how.
So from legal perspective, what do you think is legal or non-legal? What's your own recommendation?
Okay, my own recommendation basically is to largely stand on appropriate punishment for it, because just like what she said, let me just bring up an analogy now. If you know that there is a particular thing waiting for you, no matter how aggravated you may be, something will calm you down. Another thing I believe, they should work on accountability in terms of the bullets. You understand? If you are a police officer, if you're a naval officer and you are given a gun,
you account.
or if you go out and a particular bullet is missing, honestly, your family may suffer for it if you cannot properly account for how that bullet get missing. But it seems, I'm not sure, but I don't think that kind of system is in place, because if it is in place, we'll not be hearing a lot of this accidental discharge of a thing. Because the little ones we are hearing is just the few that made it to the media. You understand?
Yeah.
Definitely there will be a lot of one that they might even drag the person's cup to the bush. You understand? But because they know that when I got to the office, no one will question me that, oh, young man, you went out with 5 bullets. Why are you coming back with 4? So they need to work more on that system, honestly, because it is so disheartening and it is going too far.
So Galati, what do you say?
I would say the solution should basically be training and retraining, and situational simulation for our police officers. We've seen, at least most of us are exposed to the
technical aspect.
We've seen what happens when it comes to situational training overseas. We've seen how they handle it, how they do it. We can also do that in Nigeria, though we are lagging behind when it comes to technology and the technical advancement. But then nothing stops us from adapting or say adopting. So I think the best way to do that is to have a government that understands the importance of security.
So we've heard it all from them. Actually, those are not all the solutions to police brutality, but I believe they are significant when it comes to profiling solution to police brutality. Some of them mentioned the fact that the system need to be, refined. The system need to be refined. The police need to be trained. All these things goes well to cure or to curb the issue of police brutality. Now we'll be talking about the main gist today, which is rape. Rape is something that actually is one of the most inhumane thing, because you see someone and you just take her down and you begin to defile her, you begin to, it's very, very inhumane. But this thing is recurring over time. It's getting prevalent, it's getting incessant, and a lot of people are worried. We are worried about our girl child, we are worried about our lady, we are worried about all these people, our mothers. And a lot of people say this thing happened because of this thing happened because of this thing. We'll be talking about all this thing. What are the causes? What are the solutions? Why is this thing happen? So recently we have this thing, the issue of the rape of Uwa, and then Jennifer, and then
Barakat, that one plus murder.
and murder. So I think this thing has actually mean. So why would some people in their irrational and animalistic tendency and nature rape someone?